Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So it's finally here. We're to the weekend for the spring 100-mile ride on Honda. Well, not all Hondas, I guess, on little mini bikes, small bore bikes. And I've come over to the shop this morning. It's Friday, April 26th, and tonight is a bike night that we're having for the people who are coming into town early. And so I came over to the shop this morning just to kind of go over some final details, make sure everything's set up, bring a little bit of the food that we're going to have. Mama Warner will bring the rest of that this afternoon. But super excited to see everybody. I think we're going to have something like 20 people, 20 subscribers come in for both the bike night and for the ride tomorrow. One thing I did do different this year than what I did in the last fall is I only advertised this ride right here on YouTube. Only the YouTube subscribers got to see it. I use Instagram and Facebook, small little bits. I'm not real big on those. And so I didn't say anything on either one of those platforms because I wanted this to be a ride for the subscribers, for you guys and the ones that watch the videos. And so I never put it out there any place other than YouTube. Now, there might be one or two subscribers who invited along a buddy of theirs or something that may or may not subscribe to the videos. But for the most part, 90 plus some percent of the people that you're going to see in these videos are guys just like you that watch the videos and tune into the channel. So, like I said, super excited. We're going to do the bike night tonight. Just hang out. It saves them from going over and just, watching TV in their hotel room. They get to come in, meet everybody. Like I said in an earlier video, we sit around the tables and we laugh and just have a great time. And then we'll convene back here tomorrow and head out at about 10:30. And we've got a 100-mile loop that we're going to ride, and we'll make multiple stops because most of us, our hands are going to get numb, our butts are going to get sore, so we'll split it up into multiple stops. As a matter of fact, I've got a map that I've made for everybody that I'll show that to you guys here in just a second. But this video progresses. Hopefully you'll start seeing some people come into town and start meeting some of the subscribers who are here for the 100-mile ride. Now I realize this map for 99% of you doesn't mean a thing. You're not from this area, but for anybody who's from central Indiana or kind of knows the area, this will kind of give you an overview of the route that we're taking. My shop is up here, and I live in Martinsville, Indiana, about 40 minutes south of Indianapolis. This area right in here represents Bloomington, Indiana, home of Indiana University, and that's kind of where we're headed. We're going to start at my shop, and we're going to leave town, and eventually we're going to get on Old State Road 37. You've got this black line that runs the whole length of the map. That's Interstate 69 that runs north and south all the way down to Evansville. And then we are going to basically parallel 69 on Old State Road 37 until we get into Bloomington, where we've got to stop at Cascades Park. Like I said, regroup, and then I'll lead the pack. We have to go through across the north side of Bloomington till we get back out of town. And my map's really not to scale, as they seldom are, but this is a little bit of a jaunt, and we'll hit our first fuel stop in Whitehall. And I want to say this is right at 30 miles from my shop to this stop. So we've got 20 miles to here, and then about another 10 miles to get to our first fuel stop. After those guys like myself, I'm riding that ST90 that's only got a half a gallon tank, so I can't go more than about 40 miles. So I'll have to refuel along with some of the guys on like the Ice Bear Champions and so forth. We'll refuel, and then we've got another 15 to 16 miles to go to where we get down in here to the Tulip Trestle. We will stop one other time. There is, in the little town of Salisbury, Indiana, there is an old general store, the Yo-Ho General Store. With the size of the group that we've got, we're not going to probably go in and inundate them with a troop of 20 plus people. but we will stop there and just kind of make sure everybody is still together on that last leg. And then we will get down to the tulip trestle where we will stop for an hour or so, have lunch, let our hands and our butts recover a little bit. And then basically we've got to take the same route back up through to Bloomington. We're going to be making a stop at a Marathon gas station as we enter back into Bloomington. There again, mostly just to kind of reconvene and make sure that everybody is still together, the group is still together. I'll lead us through Bloomington, across 17th Street, across the north side of Bloomington, all the way over to State Road 45. And then we will head State Road 45, and then there again, this is a curvy, windy, beautiful ride on a motorcycle. We'll ride up till we get to the Lakeside Market, and that is our next fuel stop. And that is about 30 miles from the Tulip Trestle. So we're going to go there, through town, get to the Lakeside Market, make sure we're all still together as a group, and then head back out. We're going to go continue on State Road 45 until we get to the east side of Lake Lemon, which then we will start heading north, go along North Shore Drive along the lake, and then up Low Gap Road to Mahalasville Road, back to the shop. And I've got a couple spots here where we may just stop just for a short period of time, just to make sure we haven't lost anybody in the group. I know that it's 46 miles from my shop to the Tulip Trestle, and I believe it's right at 60 miles back from the Tulip Trestle back to the shop. So we're going to do about 106, 107 miles. So that's the route we're going to take.
Gasket, is there a gasket on that?
Nope.
Scott, I think there was.
Oh, yeah.
There isn't?
Yep.
Or is there?
There is. Can we,
But there's,
yeah, that's just yeah, we're gonna need a gasket. Let me go see if I've got another one.
you only got one problem, one to stab.
No, I got two. Lining that gasket up and trying to...
Yeah, try to line the gasket up.
Thank you for that light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So what is it you boys are doing here anyway?
well, trying to fix the... trying to put a new manifold on this thing so the carburetor will fit, clear everything, because we've changed carburetors.
And you found out that the petcock interferes with the
Interferes
carburetor
with the fuel
and
line, the fuel line, and the...
We think it's a design flaw from the guy that originally put the bike together.
Well, I don't doubt that for a second. Hey, how you doing?
All right, what's up, gentlemen?
Good.
I'm thinking that if you just hold the nut up there, we can start it by spinning the bolt into it.
Problem is I can't get it because of that piece up there.
I'm glad you guys work together so well here.
No, it's not starting. It's not starting. It's not.
Can you hold it with a wrench?
Cross-threaded.
Cross-threaded's better than no threads,
No
right?
threads.
Put some ugga-duggas on it.
There you go. I'll just let him.
Well, I hope it's not.
What do you think now, driver?
I hope it's not cross-threaded. Yeah, it is.
You think it is? Yeah, it does look like it's running kind of crooked, Scott.
Yep. And it just doesn't want to.
You didn't dress the end of those threads. Did you have to cut them off?
Yeah, I dressed him a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I tried to.
Oh, looky there.
He got it. He just wasn't holding his tongue right.
That's right.
And maybe your filter?
My original filter.
Yeah, you can put your original. You don't think your original
No,
filter's
it
still
will
going on
not- It
there?
will not go over the throat.
Oh, it's too small of
Yeah, it's too
a.
small.
Yeah, you got a bigger throat on this
Yes.
carburetor. Gotcha.
For increased airflow.
Woo!
5 more horsepower.
This thing's going to run 75 mile an hour. You
That's
put this
right.
on here. I've never seen two guys take 2.5 hours to put a carburetor on, but they're getting it done.
Okay, this is where.
Yeah.
This is where.
Kentucky and
Illinois.
Illinois bloods don't
Right.
mix.
This is where the fun starts.
Okay, so
I don't know whether this equation, Kentucky, Illinois, and Indiana.
yeah,
I don't know about it either,
you
really.
got it. You're looking good. I don't know if that carburetor is going to run any better, but boy, it sure looks cool.
Hey, everything I've seen up with those things, they're great.
Yeah. Like I said, I've always used just the solid silver ones.
Everything
yeah.
I've read about them, and
Yeah.
Well, didn't you originally you were using Molk or something? Weren't
Yes,
you?
I was using some Molt carburetor, and I had good luck with the first few, and then I ran into a couple that weren't so great, and then I got turned on to these.
it looks okay.
Oh yeah, that didn't look too bad.
If that air cleaner will squish on there, that's the next thing.
I think I'm going to the other side. I think it might be a little easier on the air cleaner.
Any kind of treatment, whether it's chemo, whether it's burn. Yeah. And you check their drinks.
I have to go around and talk to you guys. So you got Mick, right? Mick from Illinois. Tim, you're from Illinois too. So these are our Illinois guys. I don't think there's anybody else yet from Illinois. Jim, you're from Cincinnati.
Yes, sir.
Brent, you're from Pendleton, right? Here in Indiana. And Brian, you came over with Jim from Cincinnati. We got Stuart from Macon, Georgia. And then this is Alex. You guys might remember Alex from last year and his wife Laura. And we've got Chad. Chad's local from Shelbyville, Indiana, right? Yep. Mama Warner. We got Terry Gold over here that's hiding from Kentucky. Tom from Iowa, right?
Yep.
I am so sorry. I don't remember what your first name was. Craig. And you're local too, right?
I am.
Yeah, here in Indiana. And Teresa from Pendleton with Brent. We got Scott and Chris, right?
Yeah.
And Chris is from Louisville. So,
Yep.
guys, I appreciate everybody coming. Okay, Chris. Tell me again, what do you got here? What am I looking at?
All right, it's a 1982 Kawasaki AR80. They only sold it in the United States 1 year in 1982.
All right.
It's all stock. It's got about 1,000 miles on it. Oil injector tank is like up in here.
Oh, okay.
Underneath the tank, so you put the oil in there. It's got an indicator light when you get low.
Okay. So it just mixes it on its own, and
It's
got a.
It's got a mechanical gear that mixes it, and I have two of these. I have another one that's been painted black, and it's got a 100cc kit on it with a bigger pipe and carb, and it's a little faster, but
So this one is just bone stock.
mine. Well, the seat is aftermarket. So I found a Corbin seat for this thing, which no one even knew they made these.
Okay.
And it was sitting in a dealership for 50 years or however long it's been. And some guy put it up for sale, and I have to be the first one to respond. And so the seat's different. But I do have the original seat, but this one's nice.
Wow. I had never seen one. That is so cool.
They made an AR-50, but they didn't sell it in the United States, to my knowledge. I believe that they were just overseas. These things are everywhere overseas. They
they
sell
are?
them over there for years. But
Okay.
to see them over here is pretty rare.
And so what's the top end? Or how fast something like this?
It'll
right?
do 55 up a hill.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So it's
55
right
down
there
the
with the rest of our bike then. Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's a 6-speed, so it'll hang
It's
in
6-speed?
there.
Wow.
Yep. It'll move.
That is fantastic.
Quiet too. I like it.
Is it really? Well, I can't wait to hear it tomorrow. That's cool. All right. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing that. That's awesome. Glad to have something a little bit different from everybody else's.
I have 22 old weird bikes, so every time I come, I'll bring something different.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad. That's our first.
That's your prototype.
Yeah.
I told him
Once we do it right, this side won't be down.
Okay.
So it won't have all this crap on it because we're gonna print it with the pegs down.
Okay.
So this will be like super nice finish because the inside of them are like super nice.
I told him to send you pictures and then send them to me. You can send them to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I'll definitely need them.
I can see Stuart's going to be buying a new bike next week.
Well, you know, I need another thing.
You have room in your garage?
I can get a shed in the backyard if necessary. I think we can handle this.
Yeah, it does not have a lot of room. I actually ground mine off. Yeah, Mark might need to do that eventually too. Yeah, those two bottom ones I took in the crown right there, just kind of I ground them off.
Well, if you get a print-on shot of that, you can see that fender's not very good anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about that. You said it was. Oh yeah, it's kind of tweaked. Yeah, I got a
It's only
little.
mounted in three spots anyway. I put it back on because I was worried about the rain.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
may just come right back on.
yeah.
From the center. Okay. My wife's a school teacher.
But this is also. It started out in the same color as that. I just got on the stickers and I like to tell what the paint code is on this. I told Mike.
This way. Run down that way. You gotta slam it when you go to.
Well, guys, the day has arrived. It is Saturday morning, April 27th, and I've got a group of guys starting to show up. It's about 20 after 9. We're going to do kickstands up at around 10:30. The weather seems to be cooperating with us. It's it's getting close to 70 degrees. It is a little bit breezy, but I think we're past rain. When I got up this morning at 6:30 or so, we had a little bit of sprinkles, but that seems to have passed us, and I think we'll be dry all day long. So, but let me take a scan of who we got here so far. Few Ice Bear champions. Ice Bear Leo. Blake's made it back. Blake, good to see you again, buddy. Blake was on our fall ride last fall, rode with us and rode this little beast he's got here. Now, you've done some stuff to this since the last ride, right?
Yep. My engine started leaking, so I bought a YX 140cc. I put the oil cooler on it. I switched headlights because I kept having issues with the Amazon LED bulbs.
Okay. Was it last fall? It was still the stock 125, right? That was in the bike. Yeah.
And then I put the foot pegs on it too. I had to do a little custom work on my brake pedal. Beat it with a hammer.
Yeah. I can see where you've heated it up, and yeah, I've done that
I didn't
myself.
want to buy one. I couldn't find one that would make it around it. So
Really?
I'll make it work.
You'll make it work. There you go. That's the way to do it. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you back.
And I probably, when I get home, I'll probably take it off. Yeah. Well, actually,
I'm joining us. CT 125. Honda S65 with a Life in 125 on it.
Yeah, that's good haul.
Kurt, what size is this? A 160?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I snuck in on me. Morning, Kane. How you doing this morning? Doing all right? Good. Good. Well, I appreciate everybody coming. This is quite the turnout. I thought maybe we might see 15 people, and I think we've exceeded that just a tad bit. So, yeah. Everybody ready? You okay? Okay. You guys all ready to go? All right. up in that park. There'll be some like baseball diamonds, and just past the diamonds, there's like a shelter house with a big parking lot. You lead them the way, okay? Thank you. At this point in the ride, it really had not hit me yet exactly what I had asked these other 27 riders to do. Don't know how many of you out there have actually ridden a little horizontal engine bike 100 miles in one day, but it's not particularly an easy task. I actually don't own any other larger bikes other than the bikes that you see me work on in the videos. So for me, it's pretty routine to jump on one and go 50, 60, 70, 100 miles is not out of the norm for me. But I come to realize that, you know, a lot of the people on this particular ride, even though they have these bikes, most of them probably haven't ridden it more than 20 miles at any one stretch. And here I'm asking them to do about 5 times that distance. And I don't care if you're 25 years old or 75 years old. That is a long time to be on that seat. And I have to give my hats off to each and every one of these. They pulled through it, you know, made the entire day. I did notice after we had got to our destination, got to the Tulip Trestle, and on the way back, you started to kind of see some people fade a little bit. It is physically and mentally taxing to ride one of these small bikes that kind of distance. And on the trip home after the halfway point, I could kind of see that it was starting to affect a few of them. And but you know, like I said, to their credit, they hung in there. I hope they had a great time. I know I did, and it was a pure joy to ride with them. But yeah, I just again, my hat's off to them for hanging in there. I truly did not realize what I had just asked these guys to do. minute. Just give us a minute. Hey guys, I got one that broke down at the light. Gonna be just a minute. We got one that broke down at the light. We might throw him in the chase truck, so it'll be just a minute. What happened to it? Oh no! Oh, it broke off? All right. Sorry about that. I'm glad I brought it. All right, just go up through here. There's a stop sign, and then at that stop sign, we're all in a parking lot to the right there. Now, I better make sure you can get this started. Throttle cable broke.
Anything special?
It's just 1 down, 3 up.
1 down, 3 up, clutch?
Yeah.
Rip it, right?
Yeah, it'll warm up here. And
Can't believe the throttle cable broke on the SL.
yeah,
Oh,
that's the only part he didn't change. All right, we're back up and going again with broken throttle cable. All right, everybody ready? All right. All right, we're going to turn right here. That will take us all the way to the Sunoco. If you're leading the pack on the way back, that Marathon gas station is where we're going to stop and convene on the way back. All right. That's a long time in the saddle, isn't it? All right, everybody ready? All right. All right, everyone. At this point, I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot more ride footage. The scenery is pretty much the same on the trip back after we left the trestle as it was on the way there. I do want to share a few stories with you, so I'm just going to let the video roll. At this point in the video, we've left the Tulip Trestle after having lunch, and we are stopping in the little town of Salisbury, Indiana, where the Yoho General Store was located. Now, my focus is on the group, making sure that we're all still together, making sure one's not missed a turn and so forth. And apparently, I was oblivious to something that happened at the Yoho. We got down to the next fuel stop, and my wife, Mama Warner, stops me and says, "Hey, did you see the guy on the blue Honda Trail 70 at the Yoho?" And I'm like, "I did not know. Like I said, I was concentrating on the group." And she goes, "No, there was a guy sitting there." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." But, I didn't really think anything of it. We were already past that point, so we kept on going. And later that night, at about, 9:30 or something, I'm going through my phone and I get an email. And lo and behold, it's the fella that was sitting on his Trail 70 at the Yoho. We had 4 riders that were part of our group that, told me before we even took off from the very beginning. They said, "Hey, we live west of Indianapolis. When we get on the return trip, when we get to a certain point, we're going to peel off and head back to the house and not ride all the way to Martinsville." I said, "That's fine." So they had chosen the Yoho as their place to separate from the group, and they stopped to get fuel. Well, it was luckily, the guy on the blue Honda Trail 70 was able to speak with them and ask them, what in the heck is going on? Here I am sitting on, the little Trail 70 and 28, other small bore bikes go rolling by. He's like, what in the world's going on? So they gave him information on my YouTube channel where he found my email address and he sent me an email. So we've connected and we'll probably reconnect it again. But I just thought that was so funny that, here this local guy lives in this area. It's a beautiful day. He decides to jump on his little small bore bike, ride down to the Yoho. He's sitting out front talking to a buddy. And as he's sitting there, here our group goes rolling by on similar type of bikes. So I thought that was just kind of a fun thing. The other story is, as we're rolling back through Bloomington, heading to the east side to State Road 45, we pull up to a stoplight in the middle of town, and sitting directly across from us are 4 Indiana State police officers. One of them has his lights on, and my first thought was, "Oh my goodness, just don't pay any attention to us." This group of riders. And fortunately, they had bigger fish to fry. Apparently, there was a protest or something on the IU campus, and so even though we had some guys that headlights had burned out and we weren't maybe 100% legal for every bike, they didn't bother us. We continued on our way with no issue, but it certainly had my heart beating just a little bit as we pulled up and saw those guys sitting there. So I want to take a second and thank a couple people. One, my wife, Amy Warner. You nailed it for the weekend, hon. Appreciate all the food that you had on Friday night for the people that came in for the bike night. And then the lunch at the Tulip Trestle. I think everybody who participated appreciated that you had food there and water and so forth. And you guys, and Terry Gold, Scott's wife, just knocked it out of the park. And I just can't thank you enough for that. The other person I need to thank is my son, Brock Warner. He drove the chase truck for the second time. He drove it last fall, and he drove it on this ride. And Brock, I really appreciate that you take time out of your schedule to do that. Very helpful, especially when we have a breakdown. We have to take bikes out of the truck and put bikes in the truck and so forth. So again, thank you for that. I had a tremendous time. You know, from the very moment that the first person showed up on Friday till the very moment the last people left on Sunday, it was just a blessing of a weekend for me. Now, if you guys have never organized anything like this, it is pretty stressful. You're trying to make sure that everyone is safe. You're trying to make sure that everyone has a good time and so forth. And the more people you add, the harder that gets. We had 28 riders, which means we have 28 different riding styles. We have 28 different ideas on how things are supposed to go and so forth. So, you know, at times during the ride, I had guys saying, hey, you know, let's pick up the pace a little bit. Let's enjoy these twisties. And then I've got other people who are like, you guys are crazy. You're going way too fast, you know, and they're taking it a little bit slower. And so it makes it a little, you know, difficult, a little, like I said, a little stressful on my end, trying to make sure that the group is somewhat together so you don't miss turns and so forth. So I hope everybody had a good time, regardless on which end of the spectrum you were wanting to ride. I certainly had a good time, and I appreciate that you came and participated and did all the things. But again, I think my GPS said we averaged 36.5 mile an hour, and I think I topped out at around 58 mile an hour. At one point, we did 105 miles, according to my GPS, for the round trip. So quite the ride. The speed limit, you know, there were stretches there was a couple points where it was as much as 55. Most of the ride was actually around 45 mile an hour. So, you know, we were somewhere in that 40 to 45 mile an hour range. Like I said, we averaged 36.5 mile an hour for the trip. So just a fantastic day. The weather turned out great. We didn't get wet. It was a tad bit windy, but riding within the trees and the area that we rode, the wind didn't affect us too bad, or it didn't me anyway. So hopefully nobody else was really bothered by it. So anyway, I guess I'll wrap this up here. Guys, again, thanks for following, watching, participating, coming to Central Indiana to ride small bore bikes. And I can't tell you how much I really appreciate that you took the time out of your schedule to do that. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.